Did you see the Eldridge Colby thing where he called in the Vatican diplomat in D.C.?
Yeah, well, I know. I heard about it afterward. I mean, after this papal spat.
Right. And like the Treaty of Avignon.
Yeah, he was like, we're going to bring back the the rival pope. Holy fuck.
To the Pentagon. They invited the Vatican's diplomats to the Pentagon and yelled at him about historical papal behavior.
It's called the Smokin' Hat Podcast.
Who's going to win this battle of the lumberjacks?
Yeah, controversy is just good.
By no account is any of this true.
International politics.
Oh, but like,
you have to be aware of the optics.
You gotta be aware. And like, dude,
I don't really wash my hands ever.
We lost a significant amount of our deposit.
Those who have perpetrated this hoax.
History.
The young Turks, probably the old Turks, by now.
Three coups a decade or something. But
there's actually rules against me being involved in domestic politics.
And anything else that grabs them.
You guys know that Eric Adams is the mayor today?
Currently, yeah.
Donald J. Trump, he's got nothing to hide.
They don't know what they're doing.
You're like, oh, okay, that tracks a little bit better.
Okay, I gotta remember that.
We sure hope you enjoy it.
Hey.
Howdy, dude.
What's up, man?
You hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear. Nope. Now I can't. Shit. It went from good to bad. Now you're muted, it says.
What about now?
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah, I still haven't fixed my Chinese microphone. It's on the to-do list, though.
Dude, to-do lists in a small business are long.
Taxes today. What a thrilling ride that was.
Oh, yeah. God, I'm glad Jordan does that.
Yeah. No,
especially farm taxes are like a whole, like there's a Schedule F.
I don't like that.
Especially for farm taxes. And then we got grants from the federal government, so I don't know what that means, but
it means something.
Yeah, it means it's complicated.
Yeah. I use TurboTax, and there's a lot of options to say that you're a farmer, and I always say no. And it seems to keep things simple.
It's yeah. It is. What is this flower somebody just sent? Anyways, oh god, they got rid of they're getting rid of the free filing thing. The fuckers. It's like what it's like somebody sits around and just is like, what's the worst shit we can do that's like not like relatively like who only rich assholes at big corporations with like Intuit benefit from that. Like what can I do to really just like stick to the little guy and make some ultra rich people marginally more richer? What the fuck?
Yeah. It's the guy who owns the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think he's a big donor to Trump. I forget his name. But yeah, that was a wish. Here's a donation. Please get rid of this thing that threatens my many, many $billion business.
Yeah, that's like shitty.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten good at TurboTax, but I do think that we could definitely, I wish they would just tell me what I owe.
If you're, well, yeah, in European countries, they say, yeah.
I think I like that because there's too much anxiety around this. I guess I should just pay someone to do it for me. But now I'm so deep in it that I've been doing it for years, and I'm like, I know how to do it. I don't need to pay anyone, but I still don't like doing it. So
it's anytime something in America is like overly complicated, it's because like somebody's making a bunch of money off of it. And also like maybe keeping like some sector of people who have bullshit jobs afloat. I mean, not that a CPA is
Graber.
Yeah. Oh man. Bullshit jobs is what got us here.
I think so. Yeah. That book really, I don't know. It made me question. I've read some critiques of it that it wasn't exactly all the way fair and that it wasn't his best work, but I liked it.
I thought it was great. I think other people have talked about like knowledge economy stuff, and it's like, and it's like it's like trickle down. People who aren't aware of that book still talk about like email jobs, and what they mean is bullshit jobs.
Yeah, laptop jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, I'm just jealous that I don't have one, because when I was reading it, I was teaching.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. And now I got this mess. And I'm like, am I jealous of laptop jobs? I can't quite get into my head and pull apart all of my motivations, but yes.
I don't know, but you see these videos that are like, watch my day is like person 8 to 4, drive 30 minutes, sit down, open laptop, close laptop, eat lunch, go home, work out, play with dog, meal prep. And you're like, yeah, I mean,
not on the farm, baby. Not on the farm.
No. I was thinking today about how much the amount of random shit that I know that's not like farming. It's like adjacent. There's so much knowledge with any small business that you're just like, because you have to do everything yourself. I'm sure there's like lots of stuff, like, what was that website that like custom prints like small, it's like 3D printing, but for like metals that you were showing me.
Send Cut Send.
Yeah.
I love Send Cut Send. Yeah. What a company.
It was like,
so great.
Like the amount of knowledge you generate that's like not like in depth, but it's just like, I know how to replace the priming bulb on my string trimmer because it cracked from sitting in the sun. Or
I got one for you. I was getting some weird prints on my copy machine and on my digital press, but it's just a copy machine with a stronger motor. And I replaced a transfer belt by myself. And that a friend of mine is now a Canon tech. And I told him that I replaced the transfer belt by myself, and he told me that is absolutely insane. Nice. I just took the whole thing apart. I pulled it out. I loaded in the new one. I screwed everything back in. I've basically taken my Konica Minolta like completely apart because I didn't really understand how it worked.
It's nice to not. Yeah. It's nice to not be afraid of a piece of machinery that you rely on. You're like, you know what? Worst case scenario, I can take the whole thing apart. It's not like arcane magic anymore.
Right. It's a really good idea. I don't know who came up with the first one, but now I vaguely understand how it works. But whoever came up with the first one, really good job. Really smart. That's crazy. But now that I know what's happening in it, I think it's great. So,
yeah, I'm like, I vaguely understand how carburetors work. That's not really a farming thing, but it is a big part of farming.
Right. And I learned about copper tolerances for making dyes that you imprint leather with and how thin you can do. And then pressure dispersion across a 2-ton leather press, that the more surface area you have, the actual less pressure you generate, and that's why your images won't come through that well. But nobody told me that, so I got to learn that.
Yeah, science.
Yeah. Well, and then if you get into things that are somewhat proprietary, people aren't going to help you that much.
Right.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out how to get leather to adhere on large areas. And my friend's family had a print shop in Milwaukee, and he said they couldn't figure out leather, so they farmed it out to another guy because they tried that for a while and it was way too hard. And I was like, well, it's kind of the whole point of this place. I got to figure out how to do leather. And yeah, it took me months of a lot of leather with sort of grainy, not well adhered imagery before I finally figured it out. And I gotta say, this is not great, but it was the robot. The robot helped me a lot. So I would upload grainy transfers onto leather, and ChatGPT would say, well, what's your surface area? And I was like, I don't know. Why are you asking me that? And then we finally got into it. So.
Well, the thing, and we've learned this too, because there's sometimes where like the AI bots are helpful, is because they can get into parts of the internet that might be behind passwords or like
the good message boards, printplanet.com. Tough to search, but it's all in there if you can figure it out.
So the AI just does better Googling than you can, either because it's in some like forum that you don't have access to and requires approval, or is paywalled or something, but it scraped it anyways. So ethically, I don't know, but
That's my huge people. There's a sector of the world that thinks AI is going to solve every problem, and then there's another sector that thinks it's going to solve nothing. And I go, well, no, it's an incredible search engine because
yeah,
it answers my specific question. I don't need to shoot at an angle to try to generate the information that will answer my question. It will just tell me the answer to the question in a way that Google kind of never could. So that part of it is incredible. And then Google's terrible now and unable to procure relevant information, I find. So in that angle, I love it. And I do talk to it a lot.
yeah. I mean, I use whatever Google does. I use that a lot. Yeah, I guess. Like when you Google a question and it gives you like, I'll look to see like, well, is this coming from like Reddit or a Facebook group, or is this coming from like gardeners know how dot blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But like in general, I mean, there's sometimes where it massively misfires. You're like, you did not know what I was talking about. But especially for just like things that I haven't internalized, like, I don't know, what is the spacing on this plant or like whatever. It's just helpful to have like, what it's done is it's unfucked Google, because it used to be that Google would give you a couple of useful answers at the top, but now it's bullshit. So it's kind of just got you back to where you were by.
That's what I think. It's getting us back to 2014 Google, which was quite good.
Yeah.
Did I tell you when Claude tricked me into making my API public for something?
No.
So the website wasn't loading. If you only typed in smokeandhat.press, you got this warning that it was a not secure website. But if you did www.smokeandhat.press, it worked. But most people don't type in www. So that was a problem. And I was on the back end of Squarespace where the website's hosted, and I'm trying to figure everything out. And Claude, I was experimenting with Claude, the free version, for a little bit. And it told me, hey, give me the API on something, and that'll help me figure out what's going on. And I gave it to it. And then it immediately said, you need to delete this immediately. You should never share API in a public forum. And this is now publicly available. And it'll regenerate a new one for you. But I was like, you just told me to do that.
Yeah.
And it apologized. And it said it shouldn't have done that. And I was like, okay, I can see where you might get into some security trouble with these robots.
Right.
So, yeah. But anyway, it all worked out. Got a new API, and now the website works. So that's good.
Nice.
But, yeah. Anyway, anything exciting happening down in Mississippi?
Strawberry season has started.
Sweet. Farmers market open again? Are we going?
Next week. We went just for some of our own shopping and buy some bread and eggs and meats. Next week we start going back to market. It's one of the markets has been open this year. I'm resolved to not to farm out, to have an employee do most of the market, because there's only an hour and a half where you're making a lot of sales, maybe, and then the rest of it you're just sort of like there, and it's like slows down, and not worth my time at all, and it's like a huge drag. So I can just have a 19-year-old sit there. Hopefully,
people who come into New York for those come from Amish country in Pennsylvania, and they come from upstate. And some of them are doing very well, but some of them aren't. And I'm always like, how does this work? Oh, you know what? I looked into, do you know Bryant Park? It's right next to the library in New York City. It's 4 blocks away. So it's kind of like right in the middle of Midtown. And they do this Christmas market. Really cool thing. There's like 100 stalls. And if you go there from mid-November through the holidays, there's tons of people shopping. And I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. Maybe I'll look into a stall there. It's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And they take a cut of your sales.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't think I'd have to sell a lot more than I think I'm capable of at the moment to work the Bryant Park. Because some of them are nice. Like I have a handcraft, but some of them feel kind of like fronts for more of a corporate deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's that much mom and pop stuff going on.
For sure. There's like a whole spectrum of markets. And also like makers markets. I mean, we don't go to that stuff. Any farmers markets all have to be on the lookout for becoming craft markets. Because
What does that mean?
the tendency for a farmer's market is
Okay.
to become have people selling fruit and vegetables and meat,
Yeah.
and then some people are selling pastries, and then some people are selling bagels, and then some people are selling freeze-dried Skittles, and then some people are selling
farmers market drift.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then some people are selling handcrafted dog leashes, and there's a drift, and
Yes.
a farmer's market can become pretty unrecognizable pretty fast if somebody's not behind the wheel.
The New York City Street Fair, which rotates around the city every weekend, blocks off a whole 6-block run in a lot of major arteries on Saturdays. And it was all food stalls. And then now it's increasingly Chinese trinkets.
Yep,
like
that makes sense.
Cats with their arms waving, like hundreds of them,
Yeah.
And did I buy one for Shay because it was the only thing that interested her in the whole place? Yes, I did. But is that the point of the street fair when I want to eat the corn on the cob and the Jamaican jerk chicken?
Yeah.
And the only place you can get a bratwurst in New York City is at the street fair. There's a German guy, and he throws down with the bratwurst. But this is not I'm from Milwaukee. This is not a good bratwurst town. Can't get him in Manhattan. I don't know what's going on. But apparently in Queens, there's some Germans, but I haven't made it out there. But yeah, so I've seen that, some drift.
Yeah, that's somehow just like inevitably the tendency. And maybe it's just because of like how easy it is to just load up on those things and then go everywhere you can to sell them.
Right.
And it's really hard because it's really hard with produce because your product is good for a very limited amount of time compared to soap or whatever,
or
Chinese
candles, arm cats, whatever
Yeah.
those are. And I'm sure they're very significant and spiritually important, but there's hundreds of them on the table and they're 3 for $15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think he made them. So
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what anything else new here in my great state.
Do you know who Wright Thompson is?
No. Was that sports?
The Bard of Oxford. So he's like the intellectual sports writer. He also wrote a book on the history of Pappy Van Winkle, but he writes.
I've seen Pappyland. I've seen his stuff in the bookstores. I also thought about reading The Barn.
Okay.
But I'm like, I don't know how much more you need to know about Emmett Till's murder. That seems like
did he write that?
I think I started reading a preview of The Barn. I was like, I don't know. This doesn't seem like. Yeah. He wrote that. He wrote Pappyland. He wrote The Cost of These Dreams and The Best American Sports Writing 2015.
Yeah. So he is on the payroll of the Masters golf tournament.
Okay.
And coming back from commercial, we get Wright Thompson essays. So you come back from commercial and they'll show the azaleas in the trees in the sunshine, and it'll be something really dramatic like spring is a time of rebirth. Here on the fairways of Augusta, Rory McIlroy will be born again into the green jacket. And like he's been doing it for years to the point where now like they're sort of predictable. So some friends of mine, my brother and I, are texting ideas back and forth, but they get like progressively more absurd. And it was like the Artemis 2, Artemis 2 orbited the moon, just like Rory McIlroy is orbiting the 18th green with his wedge play, and it's like that whole thing. But I feel like it's just because I've grown familiar with him. I actually like him, and I think his writing is very good for sports writing in America at the moment, which is like not good at all.
I can imagine, yeah.
But anyway, he's in Oxford. He's like, I remember the Anthony Bourdain episode on Oxford. He went out with Wright Thompson, and he went to that kitchen where they make the crazy. I had that guy's cookbook, Pickles, Pigs, and Whiskey. I forget his name. But yeah, there's some famous chef in Oxford, and they went there.
I want to know. I've seen that Anthony Bourdain. Oh, that's in the Delta. He's from Clarksdale, so he's in the Delta. I think they go somewhere in Oxford, but I think most of it.
Cookbook I think was Pickles, Pigs, and Whiskey, and I made his beignet recipe one time, and it was quite good. But the other thing I did when making
John Currents. We know him. We sell stuff to some of his restaurants. He's City Restaurant Group. He's Snack Bar, City Grocery, and a couple other places.
See, I feel like you guys are going to end up in that whole circle. Maybe you already are.
John Currents. Not everybody loves. I think City. Whatever. I'm not going to say it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Play it close, man. Oxford's a small town. Yeah, you don't want to be blowing that up. Anyway, so I drove through America back from South Carolina.
Right.
I-81.
Sure. Done it.
The Cracker Barrel past Roanoke. It wasn't in Roanoke, the next town over. Drank seltzer water. The lady assumed that we were European because we were drinking seltzer water.
Yeah.
And then my daughter's running around the shop. And the trinkets everywhere at the Cracker Barrel country store. And this 80-year-old man out of Central Casting, silver hair, a cane, perfect posture, the Tom Clancy glasses. And he looks at me as I'm trying to wrangle my daughter away from the alligator grabby things, like those little thingies.
Yeah.
And he goes, if Trump cuts off trade with China, what the heck is Cracker Barrel going to sell? And we had a good laugh about Trump's trade policy, and I was like, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that was a pretty nice interaction. And gotta say, Cracker Barrel's still pretty good and still very cheap. Family of 4, we ate for $42, and we crushed it. And I had the diet Pepsis were flying out.
And they give you probably like a 20-ounce.
And the second it's empty, it's on the table.
Yeah,
and. Yeah.
The thing is, it's hard to tell how much you're drinking because it's like the really crushed ice, isn't it?
It's so good. It was so good. They were going down easy. And then ripped through I-81 past 9 50-foot high crosses, couple Confederate monuments. I guess a dinosaur Confederate museum. Is that how we can classify Dino Land?
It's not called Dinoland, but it's
okay.
What is the natural bridge?
Nature Bridge, Natural Bridge.
Dinosaur Kingdom 2, because Dinosaur Kingdom 1 burned down.
Burned down.
Yeah.
So good.
We used to pass the signs.
Got hit by a meteor. Yeah,
all the time. A historical retelling of of the Civil War with dinosaurs.
So good.
I don't know.
It's actually a great idea. The image you sent me was incredible. Just a T-Rex holding a Union soldier. Incredible. And then I showed that picture to my daughter, and she wanted to understand it. And I was having a hard time. She goes,
too.
That is real. She goes, it's a real thing. And I go, it is a real thing, but it's pretend. She goes, no, Daddy, that's real. It's there. So we're trying to work on like cartoon, fake, people real. But this is a photo, so it's real. And we're trying to work through that. So it's tricky.
I mean, this is the philosophy of mind. She's really getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what else did we pass? You're driving, there's nothing. And then all of a sudden you're in James Madison University, which apparently runs on both sides of an interstate, which seems challenging, but they seem to be doing okay with it. And then do you know about Tudor's Biscuit Company?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
So I think it's a West Virginia staple. My cousins live in Huntington, which is the other side, like on the Kentucky edge. Yeah. And they're all over Huntington. And it's biscuits, everything. I think it's biscuit breakfast sandwich. I think they do other meals, but like biscuits. But on that little tail that's right there near Maryland and DC, we passed an exit sign. It was 10:15 p.m. and Carly said we couldn't stop, but I really wanted to stop because there was a Tudor's Biscuits. But we got to Harrisburg last night and then drove through Allentown and Bethlehem, drove through all the Bruce Springsteen songs. It was good.
Yeah.
So, we got a rough hotel going down. We went to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, $120 roadside hotel. Candlewood something. And we pull in. I go up first. It's like 11:15. It's later. I go up the elevator, load the bags in. The kids are still in the car. And I come out, and there is a woman who's having a tough night.
Yeah.
She's doing this. She looks like she might be on some substances. She jumped away from me when I opened the door. And then a man came out of the elevator. This was fascinating. And he had a handful of chicken nuggets in his hands. Like he had just microwaved them maybe. And she said, like she made a noise at him. And then they turned and walked down the hallway with a handful of the man had the chicken nuggets. She looked like she was struggling. And they went down the hallway, and I went down to the car, and Carly's like, this place is a little weird. And I was like, yeah, I think it is a little weird. Really sweet lady behind the counter. But yeah, upstairs it was a little dicey. But you locked the door. It was fine. So anyway, America. It was great.
It's too bad you were just just east of Bucky's country.
Dude, so we saw one. Now
really?
I have Bucky's thoughts. What's fascinating about Bucky's, we didn't stop, but they advertised.
Where was there Bucky's?
Somewhere maybe in South Carolina.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because I don't drive through South Carolina as much. But yeah, you start seeing the signs, and you're like, oh, there must be a Bucky's nearby. No, they're building it up.
When it says 126 miles till bathroom time, and you're like, it's a long time. And I'm passing Flying J's. I'm passing Love's truck stops, which are nice. Like those truck stops are actually nice.
Yeah.
And I prefer them than like a road, a hole in the wall speedway.
Yeah.
But what we did go to, give this a Google, south of the border, which is a Mexican themed rest area that's history dates back to when North Carolina wouldn't sell alcohol in certain counties. I think there were dry counties along the border. And then over the border in South Carolina, they had it. They have a 50-foot, 100-foot sombrero that you can see from miles around. Same deal. Billboards for 200 miles. We pull in. They have an alligator park or like a reptile park. They have 4 stores. One of them sells, I think it's from Mexico. One of them sells beach gear. One of them sells, various sundry, kind of Cracker Barrel type stuff. But it's run down. I did get a mug. The mug is awesome, but I think it's a shell of its former self. Carly's mother said she stayed at the hotel there in like 1976. She said it was much better, but south of the border, in South Carolina, just over the line from North Carolina, really slice of Americana right there. So anyway, that's my report from I-95. Got some great produce.
Sure, roadside stands.
Roadside stands between I-95 and Hilton Head. The back road, there's a gas station that has a fresh seafood lady, and she had just off the boat shrimp. She had alligator sausage. She had crawfish sausage. We stocked up right there. Really good. I cooked it up. Made a jambalaya. It was killer. And so anyway, it's a long time with kids. You got to stop every 3 hours. Like it's a lot,
I remember growing up, we would go to New Hampshire, and New Hampshire from the south side of Boston felt like the end of the world. Like we would like stock up on snacks and crayons and coloring books and Game Boy for like a 3 hour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it felt like it took like 4 days as a kid. I'm like, no, it's like, 100 miles to get to wherever. It was not far.
I was talking to my dad. We would drive from Milwaukee to South Carolina, which is a 16, 17-hour drive. We would leave at 4 a.m. and we would get there at midnight. My dad's like, that's just what we did. And I remember it, but I didn't remember it feeling that long. But I feel like we were better able to entertain ourselves before all this tech. Because now, we got the iPads. We really only use them for travel. But, like, it helps a lot. It can eat a lot of innings with some Miss Rachel going on the iPads. You can get a little bit of time. But, once you hit, like, the 7 or 8 hour mark, like, the kids are upset.
I'm upset. I'm not. I didn't grow up doing long drives. I don't like them.
Yeah. So we only did it because the kid had hand, foot, and mouth like pretty bad. You're not supposed to travel with it, and he was covered in whatever
Gross.
boils, spots.
Oh,
It kind of looks like
God.
chicken pox, but like gnarlier.
Oh.
And anyway, so yeah, that's my report from the South. But yeah, all right. Should we look at stuff?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's take a look. See what's going on here. All right, I gave us some non-Iran stuff
All right.
to kick it off. Because
Yeah,
who needs
everyone's
it?
talking about Iran. Everybody's got an opinion. Who cares?
Everyone's got an opinion. Exactly.
Wait, they're distracting us. They're trying to distract us with the. Oh, we're
Yeah.
We're blockading the blockade. Well, what's really
blockading the blockade? Nothing better. So
what's happening behind
Victor
the curtains?
Orban. You know
Yeah.
Victor?
Yeah.
So they sent JD over there for a last minute push, and he goes to Budapest, and he's given this speech.
I actually had a special guest that asked that I give him a phone call, and we'll see. Let's hope he actually answers. So this is going to be very embarrassing. All right.
I'm sorry, the person you were talking to has not been set up yet.
Okay. Try one more time.
He gets him the second time, but great, just a great visual of JD Vance. It's a metaphor, but it's a real thing that happened where they sent JD over for a campaign that seemed everybody was saying they was going to lose, and they still sent JD over. Give it a shot. And yeah, Orban lost. Okay, so that was exciting. Loses to Peter Magyar, and then we can go back. Now, did you see all of this? They were pushing him, the CPAC people went over there. I guess the Hungarian government has been paying CPAC to host an event in Budapest. And today, the new guy, Peter Magyar, who I don't think is like awesome, but seems to believe in the rule of law, said, we're getting rid of all the CPAC funding. That's all stopping right now. But they did some last minute things here. They sent over the great Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Rob Schneider. When they asked Mikhail Gorbachev what surprised him the most since the fall of the Iron Curtain, his answer was the Sovietization of Europe. There's been one country that has specifically stood against this communist takeover, redressed as woke kindness, and that is the country of Hungary. And thankfully, your prime minister has decided to put his citizens and his culture first before giving in to the elites and this new one world government. I want to thank Viktor Orban for this shining example, because the world needs to protect Western civilization. Because that's what
says the guy on Russia Today.
On a Russia Today. I imagine this was a cell phone video he uploaded, right? But yes.
But it's
I mean, everyone knows Rob Schneider is huge in Hungary, probably because of the great making copies. Did you ever see this one?
Probably, but
yeah.
Tommy.
Hey, Richard, I'm just making some copies.
The Tomster. Tom Man. Tom.
How you doing, Richard?
The Tomster, making copies. Mr. Tom. Tommy.
Yeah, see ya.
Tom.
Not bad, right?
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, the real payoff here is...
Hey, Richard.
Sting. Stinglehopper. Making copies. The McStingster.
Yeah. So anyway, can't believe that didn't put Orban over the top in Hungary.
Dude, what happened to him? It's just like, did the playing the bit characters in all those Adam Sandler movies just break him? What?
It's fascinating, right? You can do it. He's that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, and then he just ended up like bitter, washed up comedian who's...
I remember feeling like, because I loved the SNL movies. My dad loved the SNL movies when he was younger. But when things like Deuce Bigelow came out, and I was right in the sweet spot. I was 12,
me too.
13. I was like ready. And I was like, I may be faking that I like this more than I do. And it certainly hasn't held up the way, Austin Powers or any of that stuff held up. Well, yeah, Rob couldn't get over the top. His daughter is that musician. Do you know this person? Ella King. Do you remember that song X's and O's?
Yeah. Huh.
My X's and O. That's Rob Schneider's daughter. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, so yeah, Schneider. Who else? We got Jim Brewer also, going that direction. Really upset about the one world order in the vaccines and the what have yous.
Sure. Yeah, and Jim Brewer used to just be like the half-baked guy, right? Wasn't
That's Harlan Williams, I think. No, he's in Half Baked. You're right. Yeah. What else was Brewer in?
He was just like a big stoner. It's like
right. He had that look on his face all the time.
And then
yeah. But you know who's really cool is Harlan Williams. He's kind of having a little renaissance.
That makes sense. Okay.
He's the one who punches the horse in Half Baked.
The cop's horse.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I love horses. Or the horse dies or whatever. And he's got that great scene in Dumb and Dumber when he drinks the pee out of the beer bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harlan Williams.
Totally. I mean, I guess that's the three pat, and then Dave Chappelle's like trying to tightrope walk some centrist line.
Right. Yeah, he's pretty mad at trans people, it appears. But yeah, no, he's trying to do something. Yeah, I feel like he lives on a giant compound in Ohio by himself. There's a barn, I'm told. I've heard on various podcasts. I just feel like if you get so isolated, it seems like Rogan is losing his mind by being so isolated with his money.
Sure.
Can't be good for you. But anyway, okay. Another fun thing that happened is the president and the Pope are fighting.
Yeah.
This
Big time.
one.
Bigly.
I didn't read the whole thing. I just started laughing so hard at Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. And I was like, I don't need to read the rest of this. This is awesome. This might be the funniest thing he's ever tweeted. He doesn't know it's funny, but it's the funniest.
Yeah, I've actually never seen the whole message. I was trying to see it on the news stories, and they just like.
Yeah, he doesn't want a Pope who criticizes. I won in a landslide.
Blah, 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 blah.
He says something that if Trump wasn't president, he wouldn't be the Pope, which is one of those things that's actually probably true. But what does that say about what you're doing? Like, I definitely think the College of Cardinals was like, can we find an American who's not insane? And they were like, what about that guy who's been in Peru for 30 years? We kind of like him.
Yeah.
He's not even in it. But yeah, my favorite thing about Leo is that he has a super conservative brother in Naples, Florida, who loves Trump.
That makes
and I'm
sense.
like, that's the most American thing about you, man. Like, you are an American. You got a brother. And Trump keeps bringing him up. He's like, I'm not a fan of Leo. I like his brother Louis. His brother Louis is big MAGA. We like him. Not so big on Leo. So this kicked off a lot of fun stuff. We have not a fan of Pope Leo.
A pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
So anyway, not a fan of Pope Leo. And then later that night, we get the Jesus.
Oh,
the
man.
Doctor. Not Jesus. He's a doctor. So we get this. And I mean, I was laying in bed and I caught this one at 1 a.m. or whenever he sent this out. Now, what's the mechanism of this? Does somebody send him this on True Social?
Right. And
is he using Gemini to generate him an image? I got questions.
Yeah.
And then what is up here?
Right.
Who's this person at the top? Because the Statue of Liberty's here, but up here we have some sort of, I don't know, super demon. I see soldiers. I see airplanes.
Yeah, it's a little scary looking.
It's a little frightening when you dig in. And then Jon Stewart suggested that this was perhaps Jeffrey Epstein. I honestly, when I saw it, I thought I saw Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
I
could be.
I said, that's Hunter. He's Kieran Hunter of his of his addiction.
I mean, like
but anyway,
most Catholics voted for Trump. I think I read. And my question is, do they have internal like polling research that's like most Catholics are like these fake adult convert flavor Catholics who like don't care what the Pope says and care about Trump more, or are they stepping into a minefield that they don't realize because they're like too fucking hubristic?
Right. This goes viral every now and again.
Yeah.
And every lifelong Catholic I've ever met is like, I think we're supposed to give this food to poor people. And every adult convert is like the archon of Constantinople's epistle on the Pentecostal rites of the Eucharist clearly states women shouldn't have driver's license.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good and exactly right.
And it's like there's like a special, and I don't really know because I'm familiar with like they're mostly on Twitter. This type of like
I don't know
people referencing like specific like schismatic thing, like council, like not the Council of Nicaea, but like obscure points of like church canon and dogma that they like disagree with or find extra important, which justifies why they're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the average Catholic voter, though.
I really don't think it is, but it does feel like there's a little buzz behind. I'm going to get into dogma and I'm going to get into doctrine.
Yeah.
You know, in an intense way. Freshman year at Notre Dame, you have to take I don't know what it is, history of Catholicism class, and you go through the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, you figure
I remember like a priest down at the bottom of a big lecture hall, like yelling Theotokos, which I don't even remember. Like it means 3 in 1, I think.
Yeah.
And that was the big deal, that it's all one.
Yeah, the Trinity.
The Trinity. And that's when they decided that that's how we're going to roll. But, you know, even when you're learning about it, it was like, it was a bunch of dudes, you know, in the year 300. And I think
I remember this. I took Catholic dogma in high school. Yeah. Fully human and fully divine.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
If you're Catholic.
It was a logical thing. And they just drove a truck right down the middle and they said both. It was like, done. Love that. But people are really into it. JD Vance seems to be really into it. Okay, hang on. We got a few JDs in here. They brought, Trump referring to the image here.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I had.
Why did you post a picture of yourself as a doctor in ancient garb right after getting in a fight in the internet with the Pope?
People put a what's that Halloween company? Scary Halloween or whatever.
Yeah, Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween, and it's the costume, and then on the label it just says
doctor.
So good. Oh, Donnie, the best. I mean, you read The Art of the Deal, which I actually haven't read, but I saw the movie, and it's like never apologize, never admit you're wrong, and like, man, he does not back off his stuff. Okay, so we got that, and then we got Vance. They rolled him out there to, he's our Catholic.
Right.
Social saying Leo.
Right. I think the president was posting a joke, and of course he took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case. I think the president of the United States likes to mix it up on social media, and I actually think that's one of the good things about this president is that he's not filtered. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's spending 10 hours, and he's spending the hours between 12 and 4 every night, manically posting.
12 posts that night.
Yeah.
You think about his heart.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing our president can't put down the screen.
That he doesn't sleep. And he's retweeting AI slop images of himself as a Red Cross doctor at 1 a.m. after arguing with the Pope on Twitter. Unbelievable. Okay, so we get that. Pope Leo. Okay, Catholic convert. Okay, here we go. Here's Vance. I think this was tonight.
I mean, what's interesting and kind of good is that like it's not just like a thing of the Pope, because like you can make it a thing of personalities, but there is like a trickle down. The Pope is the head of something, which is the Catholic Church. So they had like those three high-ranking American cardinals like pulling together, towing the line about like no, like this is the point. This is the point of view of the Catholic Church. Like from us on down, is that like we are against the war in Iran and like the abuse of ICE. Like, so you can't just make it like, oh, it's the Pope. It's like, no, it's the Catholic Church because the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church. So eventually that gets down theoretically to like parishes where it's like.
Well, and so this is the thing. Notre Dame had a huge scandal in the last 2 months. Huge scandal in their eyes. The new head of a sociology department wrote an op-ed 8 years ago saying that pro-choice was good. And Notre Dame just hired her to run this center. And a few people got very upset. They dug this up, went crazy. Donors pulling money. An emeritus professor resigned his professorship. Now, at the same time, there's a man named Patrick Deneen, who I think it could be classified as a monarchist. And he is J.D. Vance's favorite political scientist.
Yeah.
Guy's a total madman. And he jumped on this train that she wrote an op-ed about being pro-choice when that was the law of the land 7 or 8 years ago. But Notre Dame has a tendency to, rather than maybe what I would think of as more of a Jesuit position of, hey, we're going to focus on learning things and poor people. Like that's kind of our bread and butter. Notre Dame likes to get into the doctrinal stuff. And J.D. Vance's shaman, who brought him into Catholicism, is a Notre Dame PhD grad. He's also a Dominican friar. And he was the chaplain of the business school while he was on campus. And so
why does the business school have its own chaplain?
It's a tremendous question. It's the right question. I think you're asking the right question. Because I was in the School of Arts and Letters. Thank you very much. And maybe we did have a chaplain, but it was not made clear to me that we had one. But yeah, so anyway, just thinking about what are we going to focus on? Hey, we're detaining, imprisoning without cause, probably a lot of Catholics right now, right?
Yeah, mostly I would. Yeah,
probably mostly Catholics, and we're flipping out about an op-ed. We're kind of just like we're not looking out. It's just like, hey, here's a real narrow thing that we can all get upset about. I'm like, Deneen, I think you could get that Deneen guy if you wanted to. Maybe there's some un-Catholic things in monarchy that you might want to sniff around on.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so here's JD. This is tonight, I think, at a Turning Point event. Let's see what JD says.
When the Pope says that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword, there is more than a 1,000-year tradition of just war theory. Okay. Now we can of course have disagreements about whether this or that conflict is just, but I think that it's important in the same way that it's important for the Vice President of the United States to be careful when I talk about matters of public policy. I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. And I think that one of these issues here.
Oh, buddy.
It's important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. The vicar of Christ on earth.
Yeah. Who also has a JD in church law, I think.
Right. And also I was just reading a thing when the junta took over Peru, and then the Shining Path and all of this fun stuff. Leo would go to the town square and get petitions signed in front of armed militiamen about the role of humanitarian law in the Peruvian conflict, which I know nothing about, I must admit. But, you're just like, okay, I mean, who has credibility here on the issue? Is it our 3 years into being Catholic guy who just published a book with...
Or the guy who earned a doctor of canon law from the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the good one.
Yeah.
That's the Harvard of the Pontifical Universities, I would imagine.
You should, I wonder which of these guys is shooting from the hip here.
Right. And you think about J.D. Vance's ride here. He was the last person Francis met alive.
Right.
And Francis was like, you're not really my cup of tea. he invites Leo to America for the 4th of July party. Leo says, no, I'm going to go to the island where the migrants are landing, Lampedusa or whatever that island is. And then now he's in a theological debate in front of a Turning Point USA sign, where I would imagine there are some Turning Point USA people who don't love the Catholics. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. So anyway, what a time to be JD Vance. What a wild ride.
People keep saying it, but I hope they bring back excommunications, man. It's like at what point
exactly.
in the most public forums do you have to continuously disagree?
Yeah.
Like just open, like floating out. Like, I don't know what else you could do besides like start, being like, I'm a Catholic and like, let me do a satanic mass or something before the Pope's
we're teetering on schismatic behavior, which we really haven't thought about too much lately. But here we go with a little schism from our new pal JD Vance.
And also, who really saw like the Catholic Church turning, like doing this type of like protagonist turn in 2026?
That's what I was thinking about that earlier. When you and you're from Boston, I'm from Milwaukee.
It's not a good thing.
We saw like the worst parts of American Catholicism, the cover-ups, all the stuff. And it was like, hey man, I enjoyed this culturally in a lot of ways, but like, I don't know if this is for me. And then a little time passes and a little change in the winds of the culture. And now you get these guys showing up, did you see the Eldridge Colby thing where he called in the Vatican diplomat in DC?
Yeah. Well, I know I heard about it afterward. I mean, after this papal spat.
Right. And like the Treaty of Avignon.
Yeah. He was like, we're going to bring back the rival Pope. Holy fucking, like what?
To the Pentagon. They invited the Vatican's diplomat to the Pentagon and yelled at him about historical papal behavior. Shocking.
Yeah, everything's just a giant reality show with like
truly, you could not imagine if you had told us this 10 years ago, we just would have been flabbergasted. Okay, great. And then Leo on the plane to Algiers, we don't need to watch it. He was very calm and cool and said, I'm the Pope, I'm going to say what I think, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And then he went to Algeria, to be a really cool guy, extending his hand to.
Well, there's one other thing. Didn't Iran weigh in on that the AI Jesus image and be like, that's not cool. Like, we're Muslims, we still believe Jesus is like a prophet. That's
right. That's right. No, I didn't see that, but yes, I could imagine that. They're on fire with their Lego memes. They just put one out. I don't know how they do it. It was the Iranian embassy in South Africa put out this last one, and it's like an 80s hair band Trump singing about closing the strait after someone else closed the strait. Total banger. I don't know how they prompt the AI so good, but man, they're really good at it. But anyway, okay. So Catholic
the president of Iran, the new president, I don't know, his name is Pezeshkian, got on Twitter and said, this is a desecration. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, I condone the insult to your excellency on behalf of the great nation of Iran and declare that the desecration of Jesus, the prophet of peace and brotherhood, is not acceptable to any free person. I wish you glory by Allah. Good for them.
Good for them. Well, and I saw some interviews today, and it's a guy at a gas station, and they show him the clip somewhere in America, and the guy's like, man, I voted for Trump 3 times, but this don't sit right with me. I can't believe you did. And it's like, dude, you're losing the guy with the sunglasses in the pickup truck at the gas station, because when you drive down I-81, you see "Are you lost? Find Jesus" on every 6th billboard, and there's 90-foot crosses every 20 miles, and
the facade, people are starting to see through the curtain a little bit here.
You're kind of getting right at the only thing that's kind of holding a lot of these places together, man. But anyway, okay, so that's our detour. Oh, and then Hakeem Jeffries.
I'm sure he had something great.
He had such a compelling thing. Let's check out Hakeem's cool vertical video.
Extremists first, this guy is ordered to go negotiate a peace agreement in this reckless and costly war of
Oh,
choice. Peace agreement that he was negotiating completely
We're gonna be okay.
collapsed.
This is
Then
our guy.
the guy that JD Vance campaigned with, Viktor Orban, this far-right dictator and authoritarian, got crushed in the elections in Hungary.
You fired up to
yesterday.
organize?
And JD Vance wakes up this morning and sees that his boss, that would be Donald Trump, brutally attacks the Pope of all people, the head of the Catholic Church that JD Vance belongs to.
Okay. I won't punish you anymore.
Do I owe him $50 for that? Jeez, like what the
I
fuck?
think you just got an Act Blue email in your account. Hurry, you only have 12 more hours to respond to our Jesus Trump meme campaign.
Dude, this
Text
party.
messages are incoming.
Oh, this party.
This party's tough. It's not great. So anyway, there's Hakeem meeting the moment. Okay. Anyway, jumping back to Iran, we missed some of this excitement. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. This was our threat for them to reopen the strait. They did not. Yeah.
What?
And then there was, it's not open. I mean, it's kind of open. There's it's
No,
a little, but not really.
What do we send our ships there to do?
Yeah, I now we're turning away their ship. So okay. So nobody.
Does a blockade of a blockade cancel is it like a negative number times a negative number where it becomes is it
It's
open?
a real you can't fire me, I quit situation here. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So that was that. What the hell is this Fox News clip? It's just Trump coming on and saying we're going to destroy civilizations. They sent JD Vance on another awesome trip to Islamabad.
It now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America.
Okay. So no dice. He flew all the way there. They sat in a room for 21 hours. Nothing happened. The peace talks failed. Trump closes the strait himself. And then Saudi Arabia today in the Wall Street Journal says, drop its blockade, fearing that Trump's move to close it off could lead Iran to escalate and disrupt the shipping routes. Great. Okay. Okay, before we get to our final thing on Iran, did you see DoorDash Grandma? Do you know about DoorDash Grandma?
Yeah, delivering McDonald's to the White House.
Okay, so she delivers
but
McDonald's.
she's like a plant. She's been at other things.
She's kind of a plant. It's actually super sad. She went through her whole life savings paying for her husband's cancer treatment. So they flew her in. She's from Arkansas. I don't understand how this happened, but here she is dropping it off. McDonald's knocking on the Oval Office. That's how it works.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash order for you, Mr. President. That's very nice. Look at this.
How many times do you think they shot this? How many takes do you think this took?
As a guy who has DoorDashed some McDonald's, 2 bags is a lot of McDonald's.
Yeah.
What's in there? That's what I want to know. But okay, so this happens. Then he tells her, hey, let's go have a press conference. Then during the press conference,
he asks about trans
starts
athletes.
asking.
Men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't? I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about
Pizza.
no tax on tips.
Yeah. They want
The arm hit on the back, I think, is the best part. The best part. But yeah, so he starts riffing, and somehow this DoorDasher from Arkansas is a very reasonable person. It does not get intimidated into going on some diatribe about trans athletes while delivering DoorDash.
In
to
what
the president.
world is like having some elderly woman bring you fast food like good optics?
And when you dig in on her story, it's our insurance system is broken. She has to work in the gig economy to pay for her husband's cancer treatment because they burned through their life savings. You're like, oh, actually, this is a huge argument for, national health care, nationalized health care, but we're going to make this about no taxes on tips. And then she goes, yeah, I was able to save this money and pay for my husband's cancer treatment. You're like, it's horrific. Like what a monstrous country this is. But Donnie doesn't get to that level. But anyway, that was DoorDash Grandma. And then just before we went on the air, I got good news for you. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Okay. Hang on. This is fascinating. We're getting this in real time. Trump told Maria Bartiromo that the war is over. And we will see the full interview tomorrow. And she tweeted that out walking out of the White House. Said, why are you using the past tense when you refer to the war? And he said, well, the war's over. And that's going to be the big news. But perhaps she deleted the tweet.
No, I see it.
It was making the rounds. Okay.
You keep saying is the war over? I think it's close to over. Yeah, I mean, I view it as very close to over.
Okay. Very close to over. Okay. A little more nuance, but that interview will be out tomorrow. We will learn that the war is over. So anyway, what a strange 50 days it's been. Yeah.
I mean, do you think they just did the plot? They like sent all these ships and like, well, they're all they're all there in the Gulf, so we gotta have them do something. So let's blockade it, I guess.
The whole thing, which I didn't have in here, that whole thing with the fighter pilot that got shot down was astonishing.
Insane, yeah.
Insane. And they blow up 2 C-130s or whatever aircraft that was.
Yeah.
Got stuck in the mud because their tires couldn't get I mean, it's when you think about the Maduro operation, the lead pilot gets shot in the legs, and God bless him, keeps flying, doesn't crash the helicopter, gets all the way back to the ship or wherever they ended up. And then you have this situation where they're blowing up aircraft because they can't get them out of the ground. I mean, shout out to the military. Those guys are doing a bang up job. But man, what a wild situation that was.
Yeah, I mean, in a vacuum, it's cool. With any sort of context, it's like, what the
from a strategic standpoint, right? It's a whole different conversation where you're like, wow, that's actually amazing that they were able to do that. But yeah, what are we doing? Why are we risking these guys who seem very talented?
Yeah, any sort of like subtext there, and it's a total waste of like money and everything.
Totally. Yep. So anyway, got any good books? What do you got any movies?
Does it feel to you like, I don't know, maybe I'm being hopeful, like the whole thing is like as like everything spins faster and faster that it's all coming unraveled? I don't know. I guess I feel like that every once in a while. No, the White House administration.
Oh, yeah. I mean
it feels like that, but then again, like it's felt like that before and nothing ever happens.
Right. I mean, I think technically his approval rating is the lowest it's been. You got Rogan sitting down with who's that guy, Duncan Trussell, and they're dumping on Trump and dumping on the Iran war. It does feel like the brosphere, the manosphere is pivoting back to.
I mean, like what?
I don't know, back to anything, but away
what
from
promises
Trump.
Does he have left to break? Like,
right?
What?
What vibes?
Yeah, vibes are still there for sure. Still like full of like hate and vile. But besides that, like we've gone to war, we've tanked the economy further. Like I don't know what else is there to like, renege on that people can be like, but we thought he was gonna do blank and he did the opposite.
Yeah,
I mean, the only people he's making happy are the people in on the grift, it seems. But what do I know?
I think you're right. Well, and then Hassett was on this morning and he said, yeah, oil prices are going to be up, but that's good for U.S. producers. And I was like, okay, so now we're just saying it because it used to be like, hey, you work for the oil companies. And it's like, no, I don't. Come on, I work for the people. Now it's like, I work for the oil companies. They're doing great. Isn't that great? You're like, oh yeah, just we've taken all the subtext out of everything. It's like, we're not going to make a case for war. We're just going to tell you that this is actually good for American oil.
It's making somebody rich. So we're doing it.
Somebody rich. And I play golf with those guys and some of them are members in Mar-a-Lago. And I mean, it's going to, when the dust settles, it's going to be so, if historians ever get a good, clean look at this, I think it will just be jaw dropping. What's going on here? I saw that the Justin Sun, who's a crypto fella, got into it with the Trump boys over the World Liberty Financial coin. I didn't dig in on that, but maybe there's even some tension within the grift now at this point.
There's gotta be. You can't do everything so fast and so loose without
right. Yeah.
So,
anyway,
everyone's starting to get fired. Those people don't always those people don't always toe the line. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, things have such little staying power. I was thinking about it on my many hours on the road, how awesome I thought the season of South Park was.
Yeah.
And then how little significance it had.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. It was like a brilliant work of satire. It was genius. A lot of people are like, hey, this is really good. And now it's just gone.
It was up to the minute. Yeah. But it's like, well, you have to be up to the, you have to do it every week.
You have to do it every week. You have to be podcasting every week. Your show that takes a lot of time and effort to make has to happen every second of every day, or else it just gets obliterated.
Yeah, you're just getting lost in the dust with the newest insanity.
Yeah. So,
so here we are.
I did a thing. Speaking of getting lost in the dust of insanity. Okay, here's my phone.
Yeah.
Here's the X app.
Yeah.
I'm blocked. I got the brick. You know what the brick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the brick, and I gotta say, I'm able to read more deeply. I'm 3 weeks in, and I can feel it. I mean, I'm terrified. The first couple days, I must have seen that brick 30 times, and then now I don't really look at it anymore.
You know what I did that was it's pretty similar. I just installed the AP News app.
Okay.
And so every time I'm like, do I want to look on Twitter? I'm like, well, what do you want to go on Twitter for?
Right.
Are you curious if something's happening in the world? Then read just the headlines and not 40 people's overly nuanced opinions that you're scrolling through to figure out what actually happened. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm with you, and I'm trying to pivot back to the news, which I've had and I do look at, but I used to read the whole New York Times compulsively.
Yeah.
I would just, there's an article. I'm going to read it. I don't do that anymore. I'm trying to get back into that. I forgot the brick when we went to South Carolina. It stayed in New York, so I couldn't unbrick the phone. But
nice.
So I know Carly's like, this is great for you. And I was like, no, I'm freaking out because Iran was happening, and the headlines are great, but they are behind. And it's like, I need to know right when I have to see the footage from the cell phone from the guy in Iran who's looking at the shrapnel of the plane. I need that. And I don't know if I need that, but I got really used to knowing exactly what was happening all the time. So it is a bit of an adjustment. And the thing about the newspapers, I'll tell my dad, who maybe isn't on Twitter, and he's like, what happened with this? And I was like, no, I saw the plane crash. I saw the wingtip on the ground from the guy. That image doesn't always get into the newspaper. You just get an F-15 was downed.
Right.
So there is that weird amount of detail that we got so used to doing serious stuff where I was like, no, I need to see it from the guys who are right there. But I think it's not good for my abilities to sustain focus in any way. So yeah. But anyway, positive results. I'm liking the brick. I'm trying to get back into slowing down a little bit. But again, these guys live on their phones. That's the big challenge. It's Vance is on this damn thing all the time. Trump's on this thing all the time. So if you want to know what they're flipping out about, you got to be looking at the thing that they're flipping out about. If you don't have Twitter, your context for what the hell's happening, is kind of limited because what are they talking about? It's they're talking about tweets, man. They saw something and they got upset. So anyway.
I know a friend. I got a friend. I think he got. This looks like it. The light phone. It's like a minimalist phone. So there's no colors.
Mm-hmm.
There's no little thumbnail app images. It takes away all those little bells and whistles of
Yep. So I did this 7 years ago. I bought the light phone. And what ended up happening was people just started using Carly to get to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And Carly was just like, hey, I'm not your secretary now. That's I'm glad you're disconnected, but your mom wants to see a photo of the thing, and now like they're pinging me all the time, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem fair. But I wonder if I could do it now. I don't know. I wonder if I could manage it now. But yeah, there's like a high demand for photos of your children from your grandparents. It's like
it does have a camera, so he can do things like
really?
that. Yeah, and I don't know exactly how it works.
I had an older version. I had whatever it was. Like
yeah, this is
COVID.
The Light Phone 3.
Okay.
Wow, it's expensive. $700. And
really?
Whoa, it's pre-orders. I don't know how he got one. But yeah, it definitely has a camera.
Okay, that's good. Mine did not.
So
and
that
again,
might be
it was
update.
great. It did what I was hoping for it to do, because I think I was teaching, but I was compulsively checking serious stuff, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So it was helpful in that way, but you don't realize the problem is the way society has woven itself into the phone, where like we talk about this with kids a lot. Like your grandma's house used to have a bunch of stuff to do, even if it was weird. They had that little ball game with the woo, and it would go up the hill and back down the hill. They'd have the golf tee game.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel. There was stuff to do. Now your homes are minimalist. There's nothing to do except for your devices. This is generalizing, of course.
Sure.
But like literally the texture of the world around us like has less stuff to do because no one does stuff. So this is my theory. I'm working on my book. I'm gonna sell it to Jonathan Haidt or whatever. But yeah. So, but no, man, these phones are terrible. I'm listening to these Jonathan Haidt parenting podcasts about keep them away from your kids. It's so bad for them.
Right.
But yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, I still.
You seem like you read a lot. Like it seems like you're moving.
No, I read.
I want to get back to. I used to.
I'm not. Well, I need like a news subscription. I think I have a New Yorker subscription, but like,
okay,
I'm pretty bad about getting on the socials and scrolling for a little bit. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of like just stuff that I use on like my most used apps on the phone are probably the irrigation timer, Wi-Fi irrigation timer. A lot of YouTube.
Heavy YouTube.
Cameras to take pictures of broken things so I can bring it to the hardware store or whatever. No, I don't read a lot. I read like I start a book and then I read it like really quick. It's a thing.
I've seen that about you. Yeah.
And then
great.
And then I stop, and now I'm like, I finished a book a week or maybe more ago, and I haven't started anything, and so I'm just, like, it's kind of like a cyclical thing.
Yeah,
like
I'm like an hour a night, but I just don't. I used to be able to sustain like, hey, I love this, I'm feeling it, but I don't know if it's kids or whatever. But I like fall asleep. I used to be able to hang, but I don't know. So
I think I read a book for Palestine Book Club. It was about it was like a fiction novel but it was like very realistic fiction. I forget what's the word.
Sure.
Anyways, about the production of a production of Hamlet in the West Bank.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
It was fine. I gotta stop reading. I'm about ready to not read a book about Palestine for a while.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Did you pursue Amjad's podcast? What was that? Was that
no? I just saw it on Facebook. Okay. I had no idea. It's like, what the fuck is Amjad getting into here?
I like the orange light, and it had an RT vibe to it, or like a vibe to it. Here's what they're not telling you.
Yeah.
I thought he was so measured when we talked to him. I thought he was very like, no, it's about the journalism. It's not about these, whatever. And then I saw this photo. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Titillating.
Yeah. It's gonna get some clicks. So
I might start the 3-body problem.
Oh yeah.
Or I'll have to find something else to read. I don't know. What about you?
I'm finishing up the Double Trader, and then I got Hitchens. I'm trying to remember how to write essays because we're writing these essays for the journal that Dan and I are working on. I'm just trying to remember what the writing that I liked when I was younger. Like, what does this look like? How do you write an essay again? And I ended up with this old one I think when he was becoming an American citizen, it's like, here's a really long essay about Thomas Jefferson from Hitchens' point of view. And they're great. They're like very compelling, but it's all revolutionary. I got to find a modern collection of it or whatever, a modern topic collection of his essays, because I just clicked Hitchens and I got it on Kindle and but I got the Kindle that you can write on, which helps me stay engaged. So I'm taking notes and it's pretty cool. I like it. And it has a light so that I can read. It's like backlit. So if the kids are asleep around me, which happens a lot, I can still keep going. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't made much progress. So,
have you read Chuck Klosterman's new book? He's an essayist.
I listened to his Bill Simmons podcast, but what is it about? Is it about music?
It's about football.
Oh, it's called football. That's right. Okay. No, I listened to an interview with him about it. I've never read his stuff. I guess I've only known him through Bill Simmons podcast appearances.
I read Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs when I was, I don't know, like 18. It was like I was like, this is so badass. He's just writing about stuff, but and he's so smart and so funny.
Yeah. His wealth of references when he's speaking is vast.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you know a lot of things. This is good. But yeah, no, I didn't know much about it. I had heard of that book. He's from South Dakota or North Dakota and made it to New York and was some sort of culture writer. And did he write movies or has it always been essays? I might be mixing.
Pretty sure it's always essays.
Okay. But yeah. Do you recommend it? Are you looking at it?
I might read it. I saw him on the Adam Friedland show. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about Chuck Klosterman. And then I don't know. I don't know that much about baseball, but I mean football. But if I'm gonna read about it, I might read something that has like some philosophical meanderings.
That's kind of the Wright Thompson angle too. Is like sports, but with philosophy and intellect. And you're like, oh yeah, this is a little different.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
That's different enough from Palestine. That could be good.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too. I imagine what people used to do was they would have a couple books. I don't know if this is true, but like treat books more like, and we've talked about this, right? But like as something to dip into.
Yeah.
And like tonight, I'm reading this Oppenheim novel, and it's very sweet. He's a spy, and this maybe is the point, but he tells the people he's spying on that he's a spy. And they either sarcastically don't believe him or they don't care. So I'm trying to figure out like where the tension is coming from, because he told the guy immediately, he's like, I work for the Germans now. And he's like, well, then here's some stuff I want them to know. And I'm like, I'm 58% into the book and I can't figure out what shoe's going to drop, because now everybody knows everything. I think it ends with World War I starting. I think that's the payoff. Well, so what happened was, I'm learning that after World War I started, people wrote all these novels and they're kind of making fun of people who didn't think World War I would start. So it's like, look at these politicians. They think there will never be war again. And
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, it's 1950. Like, yeah, the war has started. They're just like totally like these, they think they want to focus. It literally says, you're too busy focusing on society's problems. You're not preparing us with armaments. And it's like, I guess that might have been an issue at the time, but it's also the war already started. So you're correct in pillaring these people. But yeah.
It's a good book if you're feeling that time period. I read for this like weird book club about like, I don't know, it's like there's some State Department-y people, like nerds, people I used to work with at Navanti.
Sure.
It was about like vaguely spy stuff / war, like lesser known conflicts. Anyways, we read one set in World War I called An Ice Cream War, which is about I
think I was on this text chain at some point.
Yeah, you probably were.
What was that?
It's about World War I playing out in German East Africa.
Oh wow. Okay.
Between like a random British guy who happens to be there and gets like wrapped up in then he's like neighbors with a German. I think it has something to do with like the big German Zeppelin mission that
Zeppelins.
took place. It was like the longest Zeppelin ever to come rescue some German battalion stuck in the middle of I don't know, Somalia or something. Kenya.
Did I tell you about the Spanish-American War stuff? That we're doing.
No.
So we got this short story, and we can end after this because it's
Yeah.
But
get there.
Spanish-American War. We're doing short stories excerpts. So there's one called "The Man Who Asked for a Light," and it's about the Montreal spy ring. So Spanish-American War breaks out. The Maine gets blown up. People get outraged. 2 months later, we're at war with Spain. We kick all of the Spanish diplomats out of the country, and they all go to Toronto and Montreal and keep spying on us. And this is about cracking that ring. But it turns out it wasn't that hard to crack.
No.
But we're doing research, so it's a short story, and they find him, and they go, "You must leave now." And they go back to Spain, and one of the guys kills himself, and that's it. But the guy who was running the spy ring, as we're doing research on this topic, is this guy named Carranza. Fernando Carranza, maybe. But okay, so he's in Havana. He's fighting the independent rebels for Spain. He gets tasked with doing a report on the Maine. The Maine blows up, and then 2 months later the war starts. But in the in-between, Spain is like, "Yo, we did not blow up the Maine. We're gonna have our guy make a report." Guy makes a report, says we didn't blow it up. The boiler blew it up. He goes to DC, this Carranza guy, presents the report to the Secretary of State. 3 days later, the captain of the Maine goes before Congress and says, "There's enough lazy Spanish sailors in Havana that it's a super real possibility that they blew up the Maine." This outrages the guy who wrote the report, and he challenges the captain of the Maine to a duel. And he says, we are going to duel over this. It's outrageous that you said that. Then we declare war on Spain. He sends him another letter, and he says, "I still want to duel with you. I'll be at this hotel in Canada for the next 8 days.
Hell yeah.
Meet me." And so this is like the villain of the story, but the whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
He runs the Montreal spy ring out of this famous hotel in Montreal. They crack the case. They all got to leave. He doesn't leave because it's 1897, I think. He's just got, at the end of the story, they're like, and then they all left. But then you research it, and he's like, he didn't leave. He got on a train to British Columbia. He bought a boat. He couldn't find any cannons for the boat. So he bought them from a theater that was using them as props and fixed up 2 cannons and bought 30 swords. And he decided to go out and just hunt Alaskan gold ships that were coming back to San Francisco. And he spends like the first 2 months of the Spanish-American War, the guy who is like defeated at the end of the story, but he's not. He's sailing around like near Seattle in Alaska, and he gets into skirmishes with like 2 American gunboats with a boat that he only paid like 10% down on the boat, like never paid for it. Like he's hunting these ships. It's awesome. And then he goes back to, so Spain calls him back, whatever, yada, yada. He ends up back in Spain, becomes the mayor of a town, Cadiz, which is down the south. Is tight with Franco, oversees some nasty Franco business. Gets the soccer stadium named after him and dies in 1937. His son becomes the next mayor, names the stadium after him. And then in 2005 or somewhere around there, they do a Franco name committee. And they go, "Hey, we got to get rid of all these Franco names." And his name is on like the major soccer stadium in this town until 2005 when they strip it off. And now he's kind of a forgotten face. But I'm like, honestly, the most interesting man in this story by a mile is like fighting the rebels, writes the report, tries to duel the captain of the Maine, gets his own boat, hunts gold ships, goes back to Spain and becomes the mayor of a pretty big town, I guess. But anyway, so that was a fun little takeaway.
No, they don't make them like they used to.
We keep coming across these guys, mostly guys and some women too, who just live these absolutely astonishing Like,
Yeah.
you did what? And then you did what?
Yeah, they just couldn't stop. You're like, and then
They
like
couldn't
that's
stop.
it seems like
No.
that's a good place to be like, well, I guess I'll just like open up a dry goods store and like, no.
Yeah, just keep going, man. Like, let's go. I'm getting kicked out of Canada. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go buy a boat, hunt gold ships in the Pacific.
The Irish guy, I gave you that book forever ago, who he was part of the the Irish Republicans uprising, and then he gets sent to Van Diemen's Land. He escapes Van Diemen's Land in Australia on a ship, gets to America, gets caught up in the Civil War, becomes like a Union officer, leads the famous Irish Brigade, is important throughout the war. Oh man, it's great. Okay. And then becomes a like celebrated Civil War hero, and then becomes like a provisional governor of Colorado, some Western state, and then gets like into as governor gets into like a spat with some what do you call it? With like a posse who ends up killing him on a riverboat.
We got one in there about a journalist who wrote this thing about spies infiltrating labor unions and how unethical it was. And it's called The History of Labor Espionage in the United States. It's like 1920-ish. And we're digging through on this guy. And then at the end, it's like, oh, and then he wrote Gone with the Wind. And you're like, what? This guy wrote Gone with, we're getting like his whole, we're like building up. And then like the payoff is like, oh, and he wrote Gone with the Wind. And you're like he's doing this great journalism. He's getting all this testimony. He's like outraged that these companies are infiltrating the labor unions. They're helping out coal miners and mill workers and seamstresses. And then like, oh yeah, and he wrote Gone with the Wind. And you're like, wow, that's a full day. So, the other thing, and then we'll be done. The way we got Guam was Spanish-American War breaks out. We send this little boat called the Charleston to Manila because the battle for Manila had just happened. They need resupply. They radio him, hey, swing by Guam because the Spanish are there and like attack it. They pull up to Guam and they fire a cannon to let them know they're there. But that usually is a form of salute. The Spanish in Guam have no ammunition. So they send a rowboat out to apologize that they can't salute. And the boat goes, no, we're at war. This is ours now. And they like row back in and they're like, we don't have any guns. And they're like, yeah, all right, that's it. And like, that's how we got Guam. And they just like changed out the flags and it went down to Manila. Just like pulled right in. This is ours. And apparently the Germans, which I have no history of, were sneaking around French Polynesia at that time, thinking that the Americans and the Spanish were distracted and were trying to gobble up. And I think they took like Samoa or something. Like there was German holdings in the Pacific, which I was totally unfamiliar with. So anyway, there's our trip down memory lane.
There you go. All right, man.
Cool, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna hop on a bike and head home.
See ya.
See ya in a week or two. I'll text you.
All righty, man. Take care.
All right, later, dude. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't want to leave.
We'll see you all next time on the Smoke and Hat Podcast.